a parent the other day. We were having a session, and she was saying to me how she was having a hard time competing with the video games, like for her son's attention. And she was saying, I don't know how I can compete with Fortnite. I don't know how I can compete with the Xbox, with Minecraft, whatever, right? And I am here as a public service announcement to hold your pinky finger and tell parents that you bought that game, you bought that TV, and it is always your right as a parent to manage the amount of engagement that your child has with said video game, right? I know the type of meltdowns due to screen time and all of those other factors that go into it that can come from removing these things from our children's lives. However, nobody is going to look at a kid misbehave and say, wow, Fortnite really ruined that kid. And I always give that example because it is important that we realize our responsibilities when it comes to our children. Nobody's going to look at a kid and say, wow, the Xbox really tore that kid up. They are going to look directly at the parent, because up until a certain age, you are responsible for the rearing of this child, for the guiding of this little human. So I encourage us, and again, I am all for creative ways. I sat and I brainstormed creative ways with her that we don't have to completely eliminate these video games, because we know that there is an emotional connection there. We know that there is community there. We know that there are certain things that our children are building that might have an adverse effect if we just rip it away, right? So that's not technically always my advice to parents. However, now that we know that this is something that this child cares about deeply, how can we create this system that makes the Xbox a high value reward? What do I mean by high value reward? That means just for cleaning up your room, that doesn't mean that you get to play the Xbox for 3 days straight, right? I need to see the amount of effort, whatever that standard is that is appropriate for your child. And nobody knows your child like you do, but you determine what that measurement is, what that bar is that you want them to reach, what it feels valuable to you as a parent and acceptable to you as a parent to look over and see your kid engaged in that video game for a couple hours after school. Does that look like homework? Does that look like chores?